What up, Huck Squad? Coming at you with my 2019 in the bag. I've had a couple people ask me about what I throw lately, so I figured to squash all that, I might as well put out a brand new in the bag. I actually don't even have a full bag right now. I'm not even throwing that many discs. I don't have every single slot filled, but I do throw the amount of discs that I think I need. Lately, I haven't really been out on the course and said, wow, I need this disc or I need this disc, so I've been feeling really comfortable in my bag lately, so let's get it going. As you guys know, if you watch any of my videos, I putt with the Discmania Line P2. I have two of them. They're pretty interchangeable. I don't really choose one or the other. If I'm missing a lot of putts with one of them, I'll grab the other one and start putting with that. Recently, I changed from not having an offhand putter to having an offhand putter. It doesn't really affect a lot of people, but I felt like it helped me a little bit. So give that a try if you feel like your putting is a little bit different than normal lately. Onto my throwing putters. I have a couple different kinds. One of my main throwing putters is a Line P1x, and this one is really beaten in. If any of you guys watch any of my videos, then whenever you see this red putter come out, you know that it's either for an upshot that I want to go nice and straight with a little bit of turn, or if you see me throwing it off the tee, then it's going to be for a hyzer flip, maybe like a nice hyzer flip putter shot that slowly goes to the right the whole way. So this is definitely a good throwing putter for beginners that want to start throwing putters that you might not want something overstable right out of the box. So the Line P1x is great for beginners for putter throwing. I have two Line P2s that I throw, so I never throw my putting Line P2s, but these two I do throw. My Psycho Line P2 is a little bit more weathered, it's a little bit more beaten in, so it travels nice and straight. It has a little bit more turn than my newer one. And so my newer one, also just a regular standard Line P2, doesn't have the Psycho stamp, but if I need something that's gonna go straight with just a little bit more fade, then I'll grab my newer P2. Onto my more overstable throwing putter, I have an Line P3x. So I really love this guy for any sort of headwind approach shots or anything like that. If I want to throw a putter really hard off the tee, I can always grab the Line P3x. This putter is great for full power shots. It never really turns over on you too much, especially when it's brand new. It's really beefy. For me personally, I still don't like it that much for the flick, but it's great for backhands. It's great for dependable putter upshots. Onto one of my last putter approach discs is the Hard Harp. For anyone who's been following me forever, you know that I've been throwing this, not this specific disc, but the Hard Harp for forever now. A lot of people lean on it. A lot of people go between the harp or the zone. So for me, I really like the Hard Harp. It's amazing for flicks. It's amazing for getting out of trouble. I hardly ever backhand it. I just feel like the way that it feels in my hand, it makes me power grip it. And I don't really like that when I'm backhanding putters. So I really like this for flicks. It's amazing. It's great for headwind. You can really crank on it, especially once it beats in a little bit. But the Hard Harp, I feel like, is something that everyone should have in their bag. So, kind of surprising to some people, but that's the end of my putter selection, and I actually don't bag any min-ranges right now. So, I don't have any rocks, I don't have any MD4s, I don't have really anything. I do like the new MD5 that Discmania has. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet, but I don't know. I've been able to get pretty much anything I want to get done with my putters, and then if I need to distance up a little bit from like my harp on a flick, I'll usually go right to one of these next discs that I'll end up talking about, but yeah, right now I don't have any mid-ranges in my bag, so I'm going to move right on to the fairway drivers. The first one that I'm going to show you guys is a super cool Borderlands stamped Line FD. And so ever since I started throwing FDs, they are one of the straightest discs that you can buy straight out of the box. It's great. I think it has 7 speed and 6 glide, and that's just like amazing for a fairway driver. You can just crank these things, and especially once they beat in, I've seen a lot of people get like 400 plus with their FDs just because of how much glide they have. And if you really learn how to crank them on like a hyzer flip, they can go really far. So the Line FD, I'm sure other plastics are great. I had a Line FD for a long time, but that one started to get a little bit flippy on me, a little bit understable. I ended up losing it, so I replaced it with this Line FD, and this has been really good for me so far. It was a little more stable than I thought it was going to be right out of the box, but it's been beating in really well. A little bit more stable than that, if I need to move up a little bit, I'll go to my Star T-Bird 3. Like I said, it's pretty much like an FD, just a little bit more stable. If I throw it nice and flat, typically towards the end, it'll stable up a little bit. If I throw it on an anhyzer, it'll ride it a little bit and then break at the end. Those two discs lately have been pretty much my go-to fairway drivers, depending on if I need it to be more of a hyzer flip or if I need to throw it nice and flat and have the fade at the end, I'll go with this one. I guess you could, I'll go with the FD first. So the Line FD3 is probably one of my favorite Discmania drivers. It's really versatile, it's amazing for flicks, like it's great for those touch flicks. You can get it probably all the way up to about 350, 375, super stable. It's not gonna get max distance just because of how stable it is and how dependable it is, but the Line FD3, I think, yeah, they do that. They make it in the Doombird, which is like the S line, but I really like the Line. It's really stable. It fights wind. I don't backhand it very often. I have a couple other options for backhands, but whenever you see me, like on the screen, whenever you see Line FD3 pop up, just know that I'm confident in whatever shot I'm about to throw. I really like pulling out this disc. It's just been super trusty for me on all of my flicks. So if you guys want an overstable, like 9-10 speed, yeah, 9 speed, it's not gonna turn over on you, it's gonna fight the wind, you can really trust this disc. The Line FD3, can't say anything but, better about it. And I don't know if you can see, but I got my second ace with this disc, so it's a special disc. Moving up a little bit more, I'm actually gonna go with this one. I'm actually gonna go with this one because it's the least stable of the three. But I have a Metal Flake PD, Line. When I first got this disc, it was really beefy and I threw it a lot and it ended up beating into now being a really nice, straight, dependable backhand driver. So I really like this PD. Just like I said, if I need something really straight, I can lean into, I can power up on. I know it's not gonna really turn very much for me. It'll get some nice fade at the end. This is just an all-around great driver, the Line Metal Flake PD. It will be stable for you right out of the box though. Moving up in stability a little bit is the brand new, I think it's a 175 Line PD. And for some reason, when I first got this right out of the box, I don't know if it was the run or what, but it was so stable, like so stable. It was more stable than my FD3. It was more stable than some of my distance drivers. It was like a PD2 almost. I don't know what it was, but the Line PD is great. It's trusty, it's dependable. Any headwind. Like I said, I'm gonna backhand this one more typically than I'm gonna flick it, just because my FD3 is my overstable flick disc. But I really like the Line PD. If I have a little more headwind than when I want to throw this disc, then I'll grab my blue PD. But both of these PDs are super trusty. I would say my blue Line one, brand new, is a little bit more stable, but a PD is just an amazing all-around distance driver. Moving up a little bit more, I think this was a prototype when it first came out. It was one of the very first runs of the Line PDx. And when I first got this, it was very similar to my Metal Flake PD where it was stable. It would kind of fly really straight, but then it would dump hard at the end. And I used it for flicks for a really long time. And then I kind of put it to the side. It was getting too flippy for me for my flicks. It would just keep turning over. So I put it to the side for a while. And then just recently I lost a couple of my flick discs. I put it back in my bag. I still didn't really like it. But then I threw it on a couple backhands, and for some reason, it's really, really good for my backhand. I can hyzer flip it, I can throw it nice and flat, it'll turn, but then it'll come back with a great fade. From what I've heard from a lot of different people, the different runs of the PDx can be really stable or can be like really neutral, which I'm not really a big fan of, but if you can find a PDx that you like, my very first ace ever was with my old pink PDx. If you go back like 20 to 30 episodes, you'll see me throwing that a bunch. But now I have this one. I only really throw it on backhands. I really throw it on those like slight hyzer flip up shots or maybe like full power rips that I want to see if I can get some good turn out of and come back. I guess it's more of a utility disc right now. You won't see me throw it too much, but I really do like this disc for the purpose that it serves. Moving up into my last distance drivers, I have a Line DD, and this one is 175. It's pretty beaten in. As you can see, it's got a lot of dings in it. It's got a lot of dirt. I only use this for flicks as well. I really won't backhand this too often. It's really stable. It'll get you, full distance. If you watch some of my recent videos, I started bagging this again because I lost my pink Star Destroyer, which was like my amazing money, max distance flick. I could just rely on it. And I lost that, so I had to put in something else that I could trust. And I really do trust the S-Line DD whenever I need that full rip, like crush forehand, something that's gonna turn a little, but then I know it's gonna come back at the end. For some reason, something that just stuck into my head is my most recent Clement Farm episode. I'm pretty sure I threw this off the tee on hole 1, and I got a really nice rip on it, but I did kind of force some anhyzer, and it got really some nice distance and then came back, left me with an easy upshot for the birdie on that hole. So you can get a lot of distance with the S-Line DD. I don't really backhand it very often, so it's just gonna be one of my main overstable distance forehand discs. If you guys have been watching any of my recent videos, you've probably seen this disc come out a lot. It's a 170 Star Destroyer, and it is a Macbeth 4 times, so it was really stable out of the box, even at 170, but now that it's beaten in, this is like my go-to for my flicks and my backhands. I'll only really pick this one up if I want something that's a little bit more stable. My Destroyer here has a little bit more glide, and it's just been like my main driver recently. It's something I can really trust. I know how it flies. I can backhand it. I can rip it nice and hard. It's not gonna turn too much. It'll fade at the end. Same with a flick. I can really rip into it. It'll flip up a tiny bit at this point. It'll ride. It'll finish at the end. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I throw this disc all the time, and it's just definitely one of my trusty drivers. Going into my max distance driver, I have a GStar Colossus. I don't really know what to say about this disc. It's either gonna go like 450 or like 275 and into the ground. Sometimes I just wanna rip it too hard and I flip it all the way over into the ground. But when I really get a good crush on it, it's in a great hyzer flip disc. Like you can throw it with a ton of hyzer if you're throwing it on full power, and it's just gonna pop all the way up, roll over a little bit. It's super fun to just throw like as hard as you can on like wide open field shots, or like even just in practice. But for some reason, it's a disc I keep in my bag. It's very inconsistent, but when I can get a good rip on it, hole 7 at Borderland from the blue tee, I usually try to rip this just because I want to throw something really hard. And yeah, it's a max distance disc. Sometimes getting max distance is inconsistent, so you gotta take the sacrifice where you can, but I'm still gonna keep it in my bag right now just for when I really need to rip on something, when I really wanna, smash something. I'm reaching for the GStar Colossus. And onto my last disc in my bag, I have a brand new S-Line PD2. Obviously you guys would know that this is just my meat hook. If there's any sort of headwind, if there's anything that I just really need to fade, anything like that, monster headwinds, or really anything you just need an overstable, predictable shot, I'm reaching for my PD2. I don't throw it too often. I have a lot of other overstable discs in my bag, but it's just good to have something really overstable that you can trust. And so that's why I'm keeping a PD2 in my bag at the moment. So yeah, that's all my discs in my bag. I don't really know how many I even bag, but really it doesn't matter how many discs you bag. It just matters that you trust the discs that you bag. Seriously, like, you just need to have a great feel in your hand. You need to just love the way they feel, love the way they fly, trust them, know what they're gonna do. Really, the brand and like the plastic and everything is so personal. I really like S-Line plastic for my drivers. I really like D-Line plastic for my throwing putters. Everyone's super different, but I want you to try out so many different things, try out all the different plastics, try out all the different brands. I've been playing for almost 10 years now, so I've been through a bunch of different brands, and I really like Discmania's line of plastic and line of drivers and line of putters. So hope you guys enjoyed today's In the Bag. It was pretty quick, pretty brief. I do have a DG Luxury E3 Latitude bag. That's what I use for my bag. I'm pretty tall, I have a pretty big torso, so I want something pretty big. It is pretty heavy. Whenever other people pick it up, they'll be like, wow, this is so heavy, but it doesn't really bother me that much. But hope you guys enjoyed today's In the Bag. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub. I have so many plans for 2019. I'm getting a new camera, I'm gonna get new editing software, a bunch of new courses, so I really hope you guys enjoy, especially if you're new to the channel. Drop that sub. I'll see you guys soon.
What up, Huck Squad? If you made it this far in the episode, that means that you really, really care about my videos and you really like to support me. So by doing that, I would love for you to click that subscribe button. If you're on your phone, it's gonna be right below the video. If you're on the computer, you can hit this button right here. If you wanna watch any of my other videos or you wanna watch the beginning of my daily disc golf playlist, you can click right here. I would really, really, really appreciate it. I love all you guys. Thank you so much.